Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And we had, I think, 3+ inches of rain yesterday. I haven't gotten any news yet in terms of, I know there were some tornadoes south of us. I don't think there was anything too local, but yeah, some wild weather. Global warming is a thing, people. So, let's see. It's very wet out there right at the moment, too. But it's cool. It has cooled off. I am so happy. Good morning, Joneel. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Joneel and I yesterday recorded another version of Common Ground Conversations, so that should be coming to a post near you soon. And heading to pick up Kennedy. All right. Say hi to Kennedy for all of us. And nothing like being a 4-year-old, right? So today's card, again, so spot on for me. And I don't know if you noticed, my hair's shorter. I was trying to grow it out. It just wasn't me. And I was tired of trying to make something work that wasn't meant to work. And how many times lately, good morning, Ruth Ann, welcome, glad you're here. How many times lately have we had the commentary about letting go of what no longer works, stepping into the flow, etc., etc. Today's card fits with that, and the new hair fits with that. It's like, this is where I'm comfortable. I like this. So, we have the Wild Offering deck today by Tosha Silver, and like I said, this card is spot on for where we're at, and it lines up well. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you're here. It lines up well with Mercury going retrograde today. And don't panic about the, oh my God, Mercury is retrograde, all the machines are going to go to hell, blah, blah, blah. Now, view it as a time of reflection, a time to look at what has been and reconsider things, rethink things, decide if that's where you'd like them to be going forward. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you're here. My counter is way off. It's saying 2 people are here. So, of course, if we view us as all one, maybe it should say 1. But yes, really, feeling like this is, I read one Facebook post as I was lining up this early morning intuitive guidance, and it's an interesting thing, and let's talk about this, because I think this could be a very pivotal point. It was a post on several people who were basically shifting their position on something. And I'm not going to say what it is because that's instantly going to put some people on edge, but shifting their position on something. And I could read between the lines the disillusionment that they had as they were shifting their position. It wasn't, I've believed this fervently, and now new information has come in, and I'm questioning what I believed, and I'm making a shift. It was the, we've been let down, this is sad and upsetting, etc. And the responses were not what I would call supportive. You should have known, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. That is not helpful, folks. That is not helpful. And in fact, if you want to push somebody back into an untenable position, react like that. And I'm going to use the word react. That's not a thoughtful, kind response to someone's grief and upset about finding out that something wasn't really the way they thought it was, and being brave enough to change positions. A better way for those of us observing someone going through that. It's a loss. Support them in their loss. I'm sorry you're upset. This is really hard for you. I can see that. Is there anything I can do that would be of help? Would you like to talk about it? And be cautious in your talking. And in fact, I would say listen far more than you talk. Don't pontificate at somebody who's in the position of turning their Titanic, all right? Be of support. Allow them space to talk. Allow them to be with whatever feelings they have about this shift they're making. Good morning, Barb. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. Don't be the I told you so person. That is not a fun person to be around. Don't be that person, okay? Be the person with grace who can hold space for someone who's going through a painful shift of perspective, okay? Enough said on that. Our card for today, first I'm going to give you the word, and then we'll do a little breath on it. Striving. So let's breathe and tap a bit, and then I'll tell you what it says. Nice breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Feeling yourself opening to receive. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Curiosity. Curiosity being your stance. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, time for something new. So, striving. Eventually, the individual ego's drive to make things happen falls away, replaced with a relaxed, trusting openness to answers as they arrive. Thank you, Divine, for letting me move with the flow. So let that just perk for a moment. The ego's drive to make things happen. That's really what we were taught. We have to make our way in this world and cram that square peg in the round hole and blah, blah, blah. For some of us, the more experience we get in life, the more we see that doesn't always work. It can be a part of our toolkit, that strive, that push. Good morning, Angie. Glad you're here. Thanks for the coffee. That make something happen. But I believe it must be balanced with discernment. Again, we're riding the bicycle of life. Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. Sometimes we need to pedal. Sometimes we need to coast. Sometimes we need to brake. Sometimes we need to just work on keeping the balance. View it that way. You want all of those skills. You want pedaling skills. You want coasting skills. You want balancing skills. You want braking skills. You want them all. And then you want to, I was going to say deploy. Again, I'm catching all of the warlike language that we have. Good morning, Nancy. Glad you're here. You want to utilize those various skills in a harmonious way. Knowing when to pedal, knowing when to coast, knowing when to brake, knowing when to lean, knowing when to balance, all that stuff, right? And that may seem like, oh my God, that's so much to keep track of. But think about learning to drive a car. Do you remember being 15 and learning how to drive a car? I constantly had to tell myself, relax, relax. I was so tense, I was like up off the seat. Relax, relax. Okay, mirror, mirror, shoulder. Ah. Now we just drive. Now we just drive. We have learned how it's not laborious anymore. There's a flow to it. That's what we're learning to do with our lives. We're going from, oh God, now what do I do? To a flow. A flow. And that flow comes from letting go of ego. Letting go of the need to be right. Letting go of the need to be perfect. Letting go of the I told you so. Letting go of the smugness. And we all do this. Don't tell me you guys don't slide into smugness. Well, there, now they learned. I certainly do. Thank you, Gwen. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm quite happy with my new do. So, and again, that was more of an effort. The longer hair was more of an effort to try to be something I wasn't. My hair is thinning. I don't know if the rest of you are finding this. Good morning, Donine. Glad you're here. My hair is thinning as I get older, and seeing pink scalp sticking out all over the place didn't make me happy. So I thought, well, I'll go a little longer and see what happens. I tried it for over a year. It just was not my jam. So if you see pink scalp, you see pink scalp. Maybe that's about revealing who I really am. Truth in advertising. Here's Bonnie and her pink scalp. So I'd like you to think today, feel into, where am I striving still? Where am I pushing too hard? Where am I trying to make something be that is either isn't ready to be, or it isn't what's meant to be? We'd like it to be, but it ain't it. It's not the path, okay? Allowing ourselves that relaxed, trusting openness that it will unfold, whatever will unfold, in divine right timing and divine right order. And if it isn't here, right now, it's because it isn't time, or it isn't the path. Take a breath. Feel the shoulders drop. I feel a release in my solar plexus when I do that. Glad I'm not the only one. I've got some stuff. Yes, I've got stuff. So, a part of it was also the acknowledgement that, yeah, I'm just not grooving on this longer hairstyle. It's just not me. It's just not what I want, who I am. Here I am, as my friend Deb would say, warts and all. Warts and all. And to let go of that striving, to be into that openness, to receive what is. Allowing is not easy, absolutely so. Interestingly, we do get some practice, maybe with things that don't matter as much to us. Hang on to those opportunities to practice, utilize them. They're greasing the skids for the bigger hairy deals that are coming, where we really would like it one way, and it goes a different way, and it goes a different way. Allow and breathe and flow. The more open our hand, allowing what wants to come, what wants to go. It's such a different way of life, and it's such a charmed way of life. That's the word I'm going to use, a charmed way of life. If we lose something that we really wanted to keep, a friendship, a job, whatever, having the faith and trust that something different is intended for us, and it may not be flowing to us quite yet. We may need to be dwelling in that open space of what was is gone, what is going to be hasn't come in yet, but holding and tending that open space. Be that openness. Yes, 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 yes. Much easier for us to do here as our practical rebels, as a group. Put things in the feed day to day. Help me hold space for X. Help me stay open to Y. Put it in here. We'll give you support. Absolutely, we'll give you support. So today is the day that I am posting the request for proposals for the one church that I've been working for. And essentially, this is a pivotal point. No accident, I believe, that it's happening on Mercury going retrograde day. Opportunity to reflect, to look back, to see what I did well and what I didn't do so well, and what I learned from what I didn't do so well. And allowing. It is then out of my hands, allowing, seeing what unfolds, having faith in that divine unfolding. So That's our call for today, to recognize where we're striving, pushing in ego, trying to make things happen, trying to hold on to things that no longer serve us. Had an interesting conversation with someone recently about her vehicle. She needed to get a different vehicle, and her being willing to recognize that she has viewed vehicles as a status symbol and has purchased accordingly, and coming to a place of reckoning with that. Is this who I really am? We do that a lot. Our clothing. Where do you shop? What does your clothing say about you? There's this new person I'm following on YouTube who is just a hoot. She is very avant-garde, and you can clearly see she's the thrift shopper that I love, and she puts together these wild-ass outfits and dyes her hair red and does her home excuse me, to look like a hobbit place. And I like that energy. I love that energy. But I can also pick up in her, she's probably a 30-something if I had to guess, a beleagueredness. Like she's had to defend her edginess to others. My thing would be, I'd love to be her neighbor. I'd love to be her neighbor and support her in her efforts to just be her, to be that wild, edge-dwelling, red-haired, cobbled-together clothing, fun, interesting kind of person. Here's a place where we can support all of us being the real us as well. Yeah, enough said. Have an awesome day. Have a discerning, reflective, awesome day. Enjoy some things. Look out and see. I'm actually glad it has rained out. Everything got a good drink. Everything's greening up. Beautiful. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are, especially letting go of striving and stepping into flow. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.